Welcome to lecture number 9, The Drones Are Coming, Privacy Issues from Above. For the first time in history, observations from above may soon be readily available to almost anyone. Having your own personal spy in the sky is the result of two recent developments. First, technological advances have produced a new generation of lightweight, inexpensive, unmanned aerial vehicles. UAVs, or drones as they are commonly known, may soon be available for anyone to buy and utilize in a variety of ways. Second, Congress has mandated that the FAA integrate the commercial and private use of drones into the U.S. airspace by 2015. The prospect of widespread drone use within the United States raises far-reaching issues concerning the permissible extent of government's surveillance authority and the value of privacy in the digital age. This lecture highlights the latest in drone technology, outlines the FAA mandate to authorize the private use of drones by 2015, briefly reviews the potential non-military use of drones, and summarizes the potential privacy issues raised by this new technology. Until recently, the predominant use of drones was by the military and the Department of Homeland Security. Between 2004 and March of 2012, the military has reportedly killed approximately 3,000 suspected terrorists through targeted drone strikes in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Yemen. The practice has been criticized because a number of civilians have also been inadvertently killed. The Obama administration has justified the program as a way to combat the war against terrorism in a targeted way that does not put U.S. servicemen and women in harm's way. Most of the drone attacks are remotely operated from a Nevada airbase, thousands of miles away from the intended target. The Department of Homeland Security currently operates 9 drones to aid in patrolling the country's borders. The drones are not armed with weapons, but cameras to assist on-the-ground patrols. Use of the drones has been hailed as a cost-effective way to combat the influx of illegal aliens and drugs into our country. Recent advances in technology, primarily spurred by government research grants to universities, have produced a dazzling array of inexpensive and easy-to-operate drones which have many non-military uses. Let's look at a brief video highlighting just one of many new drones that soon will be available for purchase by private citizens.
This is Matt and I'm Jay. We are the developers for the next generation in microflying robots called the Dragonfly.
For hundreds of years, man has looked to the sky to fly like the birds. Our inspiration comes from one insect in particular, the dragonfly, with unmatched flight performance in the insect world. The TechJect Dragonfly is a lightweight robotic insect that collects and relays information while flying like a bird or hovering like an insect. Weighing in at less than 1 ounce, approximately the weight of a AA battery, the Dragonfly is the latest in ultra-micro avionics with stereoscopic vision, flight control systems, and a camera-ready operating system. This means you can do amazing aerial photography, spy on people, secure your house, or use it as the next-gen gaming platform. We've all seen helicopters, we've all seen quadrotors and airplanes, but really, all of them are bulky, low on battery, and really just a one-trick pony. The TechJect Dragonfly is really in a league of its own. It hovers like the best quadrotors and helicopters. It flies like the best of airplanes. It's really all these different flyers combined. The Dragonfly gets smaller and smaller with each iteration while enhancing its performance, something physically impossible for all the other flying systems. What you have is the world's first aerial photography tool, that's efficient, user-friendly, and you can take it in your pocket wherever you go.
I got my PhD in robotics and artificial intelligence from Georgia Tech, and I've been pursuing my passion for designing the next generation robots for the past 10 years, winning numerous competitions, patents, awards in robotic systems.
I'm a graduate student in mechanical engineering at Georgia Tech, with focus on mechatronics and automation. The research behind the Dragonfly began with a $1 million grant from the U.S. Air Force. The Dragonfly has been developed at Georgia Tech as a joint effort between PhDs, graduate students, researchers, and professors from multiple universities across the world. The Dragonfly has 5 technology patents on its design, ranging from mechanics, aerodynamics, and flight controls. The Dragonfly is a game-changing technology and has won numerous awards, including the Best Design at Georgia Tech Research and Innovation Competition and first place at Robotics Innovation Competition in Massachusetts. Unlike most other flying vehicles, the Dragonfly is highly modular. You can upgrade all the elements of the robotic insect through our website, from actuators to wings to electronics and many more. You can make it faster and more dynamic for gaming, or higher endurance and more stable for aerial photography. We offer 3 different electronics packages, ranging from basic flight control using gyroscopes and accelerometers to more advanced packages, which include GPS, high-definition video, multiple cameras, and wireless communication. The packages are the lightest in the world, going from 3 up to 5 grams, weighing less than a quarter, and are smaller than a stick of gum. The system is quite user-friendly and can even be flown with an iPad or smartphone. We offer all SDK to take your already awesome flying insect to the next level. With 20 environmental sensors, cameras, and GPS capabilities, it can be developed to track athletes, outdoor events, or integrated with an app as a fun way to record and retrace a day of skiing, hiking, or whatever you like. As a home security option, the Dragonfly can hover, monitor, and report from inside or outside your home or property. The military can benefit from compact flyers, given that each soldier has a look ahead. Having the Dragonfly as a pocketable tool for the police can ensure rapid response to stop violence in time. This could be the next generation in spy tools. Even James Bond would want one of these in his pocket.
What you get is your choice of Dragonfly robotic insect, a fully customizable software development kit, a smart flying instructional manual, and our high-end users get a Google Pad. The unit comes ready to fly out of the box. We are offering the Dragonfly development platform as a pre-launch kit so we can get the Dragonfly in your hands to let you experience the newest and coolest way of flying. Now that you've seen the Dragonfly's capabilities, support the project, buy one now, and help create the next revolution in robotics.
The FAA estimates the worldwide expenditures on UAV systems in the next decade will be $89 billion, and that as many as 30,000 drones will be in operation in the United States by 2020. Small UAVs costing the equivalent of a patrol car are attractive to law enforcement, which may choose from already more than 150 types of drones being offered by 70 different manufacturers. In early 2012, Congress passed the FAA Modernization and Reform Act, which requires the FAA to integrate drones into the national airspace by 2015. It also requires the FAA to develop regulations for the licensing of commercial and private drones and also establish 6 flight ranges across the country where drones can be test flown to determine whether they are safe for travel in congested skies. The Government Accountability Office, the auditing arm of Congress, issued a report in September of 2012 questioning whether the FAA can meet these deadlines imposed by the law and noted that several obstacles remain before drones can be used safely in a commercial context in the United States. The 2 primary safety concerns identified in the report are, first, the inability to avoid collisions with manned aircraft. The technology is not far off, the GOA says, but it is expensive and needs improved reliability. Another safety concern noted in the report relates to the vulnerabilities in the command and control of UAVs. In other words, the GPS signals ordinarily used to operate non-military drones are susceptible to being jammed or spoofed, which is where the operation of the drone is hijacked by a third party. Despite the safety concerns of safely integrating widespread use of drones into the national airspace, the potential non-military use of drones for law enforcement and commercial purposes are staggering. Potential commercial uses include such things as inspecting oil pipelines and power lines, aerial appraisals of real property, surveying and mapping, monitoring of property, home and personal security, storm tracking, concert and sporting event security, bridge and monument inspection, and wildlife and other resources management. Potential public safety uses include surveillance of suspects, apprehension or disabling of suspects, hostage rescue situations, monitoring high crime areas, locating missing children and hikers, search and rescue, spotting wildfires, and traffic monitoring and crowd control. Of course, the widespread use of drones raises privacy concerns in several areas, including such things as improper tracking of citizens, either by the government or a jilted lover. Voyeurism. Drones, of course, can be an effective tool for stalkers and paparazzi. Another privacy concern is avoiding mission creep from legitimate uses. In other words, how does one avoid capturing private citizens on camera when surveilling a suspected criminal? The potential chilling effects on public spaces and society as a whole with the specter of constant surveillance. Another concern centers around privacy enforcement, the removal of human judgment which allows for context. And finally, another privacy concern relates to image retention and access issues. The United States Supreme Court has never ruled on whether the Fourth Amendment places limits on government use of drones for surveillance. But there are cases where the use of video surveillance from aircraft has been the subject of judicial review, and there are other cases where new technologies were relevant to the Fourth Amendment analysis. Let's look at 4 cases in particular. Drones are not inherently invasive of privacy, but they are capable of deploying various technologies that potentially are, such as video cameras, high-powered zoom lenses, night vision, see-through imaging, and real-time video analytics. In California v. Shirallo, decided in 1986, the police received an anonymous tip that Shirallo was growing marijuana in his backyard. Police couldn't see into the backyard because of a high fence. So instead, the police used an airplane to fly over the backyard at a 1,000-foot altitude and observe the marijuana plants. Based on that information, they obtained a search warrant and seized the plants from his backyard. Shirallo claimed his Fourth Amendment rights were violated because the police had not obtained a warrant to do the flyover. The court rejected the argument, ruling that there was no intrusion into Shirallo's privacy because, quote, any member of the public flying in this airspace who glanced down could have seen everything that these officers observed, end of quote. The court also noted the surveillance was conducted in a non-physically intrusive manner. In Dow Chemical v. United States, also decided in 1986, the EPA was conducting an investigation of environmental compliance issues by Dow Chemical. The EPA employed a commercial photographer to fly over the property and take photographs of Dow's large chemical plant in an airplane without obtaining a warrant. Based on the photos, the EPA cited and fined Dow, who challenged the sanctions on the grounds that the EPA conducted and unconstitutional search. The Supreme Court found no Fourth Amendment violation because there was no physical trespass, no intimate details were revealed, and surveillance was from public navigable space using generally available technology. The court left open the possibility that the use of more sophisticated technology may dictate a different result by stating, quote, surveillance of private property by using highly sophisticated surveillance equipment not generally available to the public, such as satellite technology, might be constitutionally prescribed absent a warrant. In Florida v. Riley, a case decided in 1989, the police received a tip that Riley was growing marijuana in a greenhouse in his backyard. The interior of the greenhouse was not visible from the ground, and there was a roof on the greenhouse. Without obtaining a warrant, the police used a helicopter to fly over the property. Based on seeing plants through openings in the roof, the police obtained a warrant, seized the plants, and subsequently arrested Riley. Riley challenged his subsequent conviction on Fourth Amendment grounds. While no reasoning commanded a majority view, 4 justices applied the Serralo rationale and found the police conduct to be constitutional because Riley had left part of his greenhouse open to public view. Certain tiles in the roof were broken, and people could see inside from the air. Thus, he had no reasonable expectation of privacy. In another case, Kylo v. United States, decided in 2001, Kylo was suspected of growing marijuana inside his home. Police, this time in a car, not an airplane, used a thermal imaging device to monitor heat coming from his home. Heat lamps are often used to grow marijuana plants indoors. Based on the information gained, a search warrant was issued. The police found marijuana growing in the home, and Kylo was arrested and charged. In reversing Kylo's conviction, the Supreme Court held that the use of the device was a search which required a warrant and commented on the impact of technology on privacy with these words, quote, it would be foolish to contend that the degree of privacy secured to citizens by the Fourth Amendment has been entirely unaffected by the advance of technology. For example, the technology enabling human flight has exposed to public view, and hence, we have said, to official observation, uncovered portions of the house and its curtilage that once were private. End of quote. The court went on to further elaborate, quote, whereas here the government uses a device that is not in general public use to explore the details of the home which would previously have been unknowable without physical intrusion, the surveillance is a search and is presumptively unreasonable without a warrant. The final relevant case is U.S. v. Jones, which we discussed in a prior lecture. In U.S. v. Jones, one of the salient facts supporting the finding that a warrantless use of a GPS tracking device on a car was unconstitutional, at least in the minds of 5 justices, was that the device was employed for an extended period of time, that is, 30 days. The concern over prolonged surveillance is potentially implicated by the use of drones. Whether drone surveillance by government is a search to which a warrant is required is likely to be evaluated in the context of the location or place of the search, the technology used and whether it is generally available to the public, and the duration and nature of the surveillance. Next week, we will continue our review of the privacy issues implicated by our so-called surveillance society, and we'll discuss whether children and students should have privacy rights via the government and their parents.